Hello. I want to tell you a story of my childhood. At the time, I was 5 years old. My mother and father, we all lived in an apartment. They both worked, and I had a nanny come and babysit. But my parents always argued, and eventually the fights became worse. So eventually they separated, then they got divorced, which was slightly devastating for me because I wanted them both to stay together. But because my father moved out, we couldn't afford that apartment anymore. So reluctantly, my mother decided to go back to her parents' house, which I was kind of, you know, happy about because my grandparents had a big house. And my grandmother liked to bake cookies and do all little kind of knickknacks around the house. My mother was, just didn't want to go back to the house, but she had to because she couldn't afford anything else. She always talked about how grumpy her father was, which always was kind of particular, you know, peculiar, because she always talked about granddad in the past tense. But as a 5 year old, I was having fun. I'm in my new room, and granddad comes in the room. And I'm like, hello. He greets me, and, you know, and we're just sitting there talking. Telling about comic books and cartoons and the pictures I'm drawing. And we had a great time. And then eventually, we started playing games. Like, we'll play hide and seek. And for sometimes, I really don't realize how the hell he be hiding certain places. I'm trying to look for him and everything. It's like, wow, he can hide really great. And usually what gives him away is that he always smelled of cherry tobacco smoke, because he always smoke a pipe. And I'm looking for him, and then eventually he'll spring out of nowhere. It's like, oh my God. My grandmother's wondering what's going on with me, and I'm just playing hide and seek, and she thinks nothing of it. It's just little kids just running around the house, probably talking to whoever, imaginary friend or whatever. But one day, my mother was in the kitchen, and I was having breakfast. My mother looked sad, and I was like, Mommy, what's wrong? She said, no, I'm just slightly depressed. I said, Mommy, be okay. And she was like, well, what you been up to? I was like, oh, I've just been playing with granddad. And she looked at me like shocked and amazed, like, you been doing what? I've been playing with granddad. He come to my room sometimes, and I talk about comic books and cartoons and things like that, showing my artwork. She's like, are you sure? I said, yeah. We even play hide and seek. And he's good at it. So my mother's mouth was wide open. And I said, Mommy, what's wrong? I need to tell you something. I said, what? My father died 5 years ago.
What?
Yes. Matter of fact, he died the day I was giving birth to you.
It can't be, Mommy, 'cause I was playing with the other day. And he liked my comic book collection. And he said he liked the drawings that I did. And we play hide and seek.
So, from that day on, I never really see Grandpa anymore. Maybe he's sitting in a chair and he just has this little pleasant smile on his face. But it seems like I'm the only one who can see him. I guess because we had that bond. While he was dying, I was being born. No wonder my mother didn't want to come back to this house. Too many memories, especially of her father. But I also realize when someone wants to see you and take care of you, they'll come from beyond the grave to do so. And as adults, I realize that. And I love my grandfather, even if I haven't met him in a physical sense. But he's a good man, and he always looked out for me growing up. Thank you for letting me share this story.